Right, it's recording. Our idea is to display around 5 of the most common mental illnesses, including depression, anxiety and schizophrenia, in a surrealist way. We want to put the reality of mental illness out in such a way that everyone can understand, because mainly in social media there's a massive debate between people who don't suffer from mental illness as to what these conditions are actually like, with only experts and people who have it there to explain the reality. Yet when told, the people debating turn a blind eye to the truth from the experts. Mental illnesses often get romanticised by social media and the users of social media, and we aim to show that these illnesses are not romantic, yet the life-altering conditions and make people's lives healthy.
Our inspiration was found by Megan, Pinterest. The photos were taken by unknown photographers sharing their work. These photos inspired us because it's a similar style that we have been exploring throughout the units. The key things that stick out to us is the graining, saturated style and the techniques they use.
We're just going to bang a couple of photos in afterwards. We've both had, well I think we both have, we've both had an interest in mental illness and the human mind on the whole for quite a while, because I know a lot of people who have them and stuff like that. So young people in our hang on. Especially for young people in our generation, which is heavily dominated by social media, mental illness is one of the key topics that come up on Facebook and Twitter and that. I'm fascinated by what goes on through the human mind when it comes down to feelings and emotions. Mainly on the darker side though, simply because every person's different, and what goes on through the mind of different sufferers of one illness is almost limitless yet similar at the same time. Oh shit.
We'll mainly be researching the truth of illnesses we are going to be using for the piece, using primary and secondary sources. For our primary sources, we will hopefully be gathering information from people to find out certain individuals' experiences with these illnesses. Yet we will also incorporate what experts say is considered normal when it comes down to the illness on the whole.
The samples we'll be producing are going to be experimented between studio work and location based. We'll then compare lighter and darker shots to decide which gives the desired effect of hopelessness and dark shit, depending on which piece we're focusing on. Our third sample will be experimenting between the use of real life props and adding them in with Photoshop and using other Photoshop techniques, including layering and that.
The materials, techniques and processes we will be using throughout the sampling stage are Photoshop layering techniques to create many effects, including creating an illusion of levitation and also to create duplicates of the model. We will also be using fishing wire to suspend props to create a more natural feel to the piece and not have it a completely false composition. We will be using Photoshop to also create a glitch effect in several different ways, as we both feel confident in using Photoshop in this way and both want to explore the limits further.
We'll manage the project by planning our own short-term deadlines over the course of maybe a week on various aspects of finishing our work, such as when we need the samples done by and when we're going out on location and that. We're also making sure that we both split the workload equally to ensure that it's both of our work and a joint effort. These two things will help us to make sure that... Oh, a London number's ringing me. Hang on.
We're editing post up.
Yeah, we'll edit it.
You said you were going to answer it last
Yeah, I am, mate. Hello?
That's pretty much my answer to
Hello?
edit in post.
Yeah, we talked about it before, we both agreed that
Oh, bargain.
music so yeah, it kind of was a perfect mix.
No, I don't drive.
I do.
Bitch just hung up on me.
We're back from our interview.
What was it? Apparently I'd been in a car accident, and then when I said I don't drive, she just hung up.
She could you know?
But yeah, I'll just start from there again. We're also making sure that we both split the workload equally to ensure that it's both of our work. These two things will help us make sure that we have the work done on time and to the best of our ability.
The target audience for our piece is mainly young people, aged around 14 to 20 years old. Mainly because people in this age group spend most of the time on social media and will have the highest chance of seeing similar posts on Facebook, which is where we got the idea from. However, we aim to achieve an outcome that will attract the attention of more people in more age ranges.
As expected costs are like travel, which will be like just short of a £5 each to get to like a location, and we probably will feel we need to go. Props and that, we're going to need like cling film. That sounds really dodgy, but we're going to need like cling film, fishing wire, and like police tape or something similar, like fragile tape or something like that, which are all easily picked up from like B&Q or Wickes. And the final cost will be about £15.
Any expected costs?
The expected outcome is a well presented and well executed piece of work that sticks out in amongst other similar work done by much more recognised photographers. With this piece of work, we aim to shed light on the truth behind the selective mental illnesses. We aspire to not only educate people on the truth and attract their attention, but also to create some memorable work which will stay in the minds of people.
And that's it. Safe!